Okay, this is kind of one of the last videos we're going to do. So what you need to do is you have the arm, the launching mechanism, and what you're going to have to do is go to place and bring in the rubber band. It's the arm rubber band holder, and then the other one that needs to come in is the arm pivot. So we have these two here. Right click, hit OK. And the smaller one's going to go back here. So to do that, we go to constrain, and we actually hover over, and we get this center line. Do not go to the end. Okay, don't look for that green dot or the arrow. We want the center line right here. Once we click that center line, we have to go to the back hole here, and we are going to click it, pin it to the center line of the hole. Now this is tricky. We're getting a lot of these green dots. Okay, it's very easy to think, and I can see how one would think that would be green being go, but that's not this case. You want to move it, kind of zoom in, and you'll see this little dashed line. The more you move in, the closer you can see it's a dashed line, and click. And with that, so I just backed up a second to redo that. So you just line that up there, and again, make sure you see that, and you're going to hit apply. Now, one last part with this is we're going to click flush. We're going to click the end and this end, but we don't want them flush. We want this to be 0.350 is our offset value, and if it moves it that way, you can put a negative 0.350, and that will be your option, your other option. Negative 3.5, negative 0.350, or a positive 0.350, and hit apply. Okay, now for the other one, same concept. We are going to click constrain. Let me get this out of the way. You want to see those holes there, or that dashed line, and you want to hover in and see that as well. Click it there and hit apply. Now if you weren't to flush it, right now this moves left to right. This one does not. Okay, it gives the illusion that it's moving because the other one's moving, but that's staying still. This is moving, so we got to fix that as well. Constrain, flush, get the end of this, get the end of this, and it's either going to be a positive 1.225 or a negative 1.225. And mine ends up being a negative in this case. Hit apply, and that piece is now complete. And now, using the steps that we learned before, we have to get this piece onto here. And be aware of which way you need this arm to face. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, I had to edit a little piece of that video out because I want to show you some possible challenges you might face. So to get this on here, it's simply going to constrain again and clicking this and getting this arm to get to this. Remember, we want to see these dashed lines, not the green dots, but that right there. Now, I'm going to hit apply. Now, the only thing with this is you might look at this and say, that doesn't seem like it's on there correctly, because this should pull back this way, and when it launches, it's going to launch that way, but that's not the right basket. That's not facing the right way. So if it's the right way, awesome. If not, you still have to flush this. So if this is facing the correct way, you will take this and flush it to this edge. If it is the wrong way, you will take this and spin around the other side and flush it to that side, and it should flip the arm. Let me close this. You'll see it flipped it the correct way. And there we go. It is now complete. You will notice, though, that in the newest version that we've changed some features, and one of those features is that we extended this arm just slightly. So if you, a little trick to inventors, if you double click on a part, it'll take you to edit the file, and I go over to extrusion 1, and I see that lights up, and if I right click and edit the feature, I can extend this from 2.5 to 2.75, hit OK, and then return. and now you will see that it is hanging out one side by a little bit. And what I'm going to do is go to my very bottom, look at my left cursor here, I'm going to my very bottom move, and I showed you where I flushed this bar, and what I'm going to do is right click and delete it. So that flush is now gone, so this can move left to right. And what I want to do is do a constrain and a flush of this to this, and have just a small little offset of, I think like 0.125. And if it goes the wrong way, a negative 0.125, and hit apply. And I'm hopeful, yep, that it's sticking out a little bit on both sides. And then the latest version of this catapult is that we put the spacers in here, and I'm going to leave this up to you to figure out. Based on the constraint mechanisms we used, the tools we used to try to get this on there. One little tip I'm going to show you is that we haven't used the insert. Let me just see once if this will work. Oh, that looks okay, except for that's not quite far enough on, so maybe an offset there. The other option is we have this little one called an insert. And I don't want to give too much away here, but I probably am going to anyway. But this option here, or constraining it and inserting it and getting that to that, looks really good. So I told you I wasn't going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. Clicking insert will be your best bet to get that other one on there. And once that's on there, I think you guys are pretty much done.